All right, kids. Gather around the flaming hot L. We're about to go where no one's gone before. I just need to figure out everything in my life, and then I have to marry them, and I have to get all the kids, and they must be the most perfect kids, and then we'll get a perfect house, and then we'll have the white picket fence, and then we'll die!
Hi, I'm Danielle. I do too much. I like hair, talking, cosplay, music, art, and stuff.
Hisashiburi ne. Hey! Hello and welcome to StarPuppy. I'm Danielle, your resident weirdo. Welcome to the weirdness. 20's talk is here. Happiness and tears as we go through our lives. So, la la la, cheer cheer. Advice is in the air. No license anywhere. Just some friendly big sis advice from my heart to yours. I am not a therapist, but I am a person who cares deeply about telling you the pitfall she fell into so you don't. Hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm not a what? A therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a mental health professional of any kind. But I'm what? An adult with hindsight who cares. I'm going to talk like I'm talking to a younger me. And if you see yourself in my narrative or what advice I have for my younger self, that's wonderful. And I hope that your life improves in any way. Come on, you can do it. So I asked you guys on my community tab on YouTube what you would want me to touch on if I did another 20's talk, and here we are. But first, Caramel K has something to say. Caramel K is one of my patrons. They're awesome. And they had, as always, wonderful feedback and incredible questions. Thank you, Caramel K. You rock. So these questions come from the youth. The youth. Okay? So I've been hearing a lot about love triangles and squares. Squares, okay, all right. Do you give up on your crush if he's interested, I'm gonna go he, she, or they, is interested in your best friend? Your best friend swears she doesn't like him back, but bystanders, classmates say otherwise. Who do you trust? Your best friend or outsiders who seem to know more of the story? First of all, I want you to know that love triangles and love squares do not necessarily go away in adulthood. So it's really great that you're trying to get a grounds for dealing with this situation now. The better you get at dealing with love triangles now, the less you'll find yourself in love triangles or squares or rhombuses. My advice is to go straight to the source. Ask the boy and make sure that you listen to what he's saying and you take it as is truth. But also make sure their actions match their words, okay? Because you're still in school, there might be a certain level of maturity that is not yet available. But I found in basically all relationships, you need to go to the source. You need to talk to the person. Don't talk about the person. Don't talk around the person. Talk to the person. If the boy likes your friend, back off. You know, because even if your best friend doesn't like him back, the important bit to take from this is that it does not seem that your feelings are reciprocated. And that is a good enough reason to back away. You know, don't waste your feelings on someone who doesn't reciprocate them. That is a lesson I have personally learned many times. Trust me, it's always a mess, and trust me, it's way easier if you just move on now. But if you actually want the problem to be solved, which I hope you do, you need to talk to the person. And it's the hardest thing to do, but it's the right thing to do, and it's also the most mature thing to do, and the most efficient, and the smartest thing to do. Is the right thing to do, is what I'm trying to say. And this goes for adults, too. Again, I'm talking to younger me right now. I'll be answering these questions and talking on these as I deep condition my hair. That's what's going on here. Okay. I'm going to use my 2 thick 4C only deep conditioner. This is my 3rd jar. Oh, this is my 4th jar, but this is the 3rd jar I've bought myself. Thank you so much, Caramel K. Now I'll be going on to the community tab posts. Laurent CS says, being single when it feels like everyone else is in a relationship. I'm actually the president of the company. So, for a good chunk of my 20s, I was either in a relationship that made me feel alone, or everybody seemed to be in a relationship but me. So it was just kind of catch 22, haha, catch 20's too. Okay. So Laurent, I see you and I understand. I understand all too well. What I've realized is so much of youth and 20s and teenager even, and even 30s. I just feel like so much of our lives, so much of young life and middle-aged life seems to revolve around being in a relationship. And I, for one, fell hook, line, and sinker for that. There was a time, because of a certain panini press, that I was single and super unhappy about it. And that was the time in my life where I grew the most. Like, during that time, in forced isolation, but also forced singlehood, was when I couldn't use a relationship to run away from myself anymore. I think for certain people in a certain space of life, like where I was using a relationship to avoid much needed growth. And let me tell you, I have never grown as fast as when I was single. Like, meaningfully single. Okay, I know this sounds super cliche, but you gotta date yourself. I don't know why I said it like that. But you literally have to. Or you don't have to, but if you want to be not lonely, you do. In the beginning of isolation and singlehood, I was so upset about both, but I was more upset about being single. Go figure. You can see where my priorities were. It was only after the first several months that I started putting in real effort to get to know who I was. Because, I don't know, there's something to be said for feeling lonely. I don't think that loneliness is a bad emotion. I don't think any emotion is a bad emotion. Emotions aren't good or bad. Emotions are information. And if you're feeling lonely, I think you need to ask why, instead of trying to solve your loneliness. Why do you feel lonely? Is it a romantic loneliness? Do you crave attention? Do you crave affection? Do you crave partnership? Do you crave intimacy? Do you crave friendship? Do you crave just literally going out and getting some food? Like, what is it that you're craving? What does your loneliness mean? Because there are different types of loneliness, and I didn't know that. You know that I wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter, but like all those jelly beans that have every flavor in the world, I basically got a sack of those, but they were the loneliness edition. And I sampled every flavor against my will. And then something wonderful happened, and I started understanding that, I'll use myself as an example. My loneliness was a loneliness for quality time. I just missed hanging out with somebody, like a one-on-one session. And that's mostly what I was missing. Now, that kind of loneliness is very easily solved. Now, I was in a panini press, so it took a couple of months for us all to be okay going outside of the house. But once that was available, I just started hanging out with my friends one-on-one much more often. And now I carried that lesson into current day times. And I hang out with a friendalino several times a week. So, it took a long time. I'm talking a full year of incorporating having someone come over and just hang out. But that was my flavor of loneliness. That's what I was craving. That's what my loneliness meant. So what flavor is your loneliness? What do you need? What do you want? What are you craving? And once you find out what that is, try journaling if it's hard to find. Try meditation if it's hard to find. Try talking to somebody about it if it's hard to find. Emotions are tricky. At first. You're okay. Oh, you're okay. It's okay to feel lonely. It's okay. It's a perfectly natural emotion. But once you figure that out, then you ask yourself, what can I do about it? And then you do it. And then you won't be lonely anymore. So, you'll be okay, Laurent. Okay, next prompt. Oh, Lord, Corinne, Mutton Hori, Mouton Hori. I hope one of those were right. I'm so sorry. Handling rejection from guys. The confidence to shoot your shot as a girl. Dealing with heartbreak after someone has done you dirty. How do you find your version of justice? You guys are so awesome. Y'all really be asking the stuff I really want to talk about. Okay, so handling rejection from guys. I, Danielle, the resident weirdo, have, I've had my share of L's. Shooting your shot as a girl is nerve-wracking, particularly when you're interested in men. Oh, God. All right, kids. Gather around the flaming hot L. We're about to go where no one's gone before. I think a lot of handling rejection is best handled by really backing up from the situation and trying to understand it. So, I've really grown in how I handle L's. I remember when I was in a very tender place and I was handed a scalding hot L, and I wouldn't say I handled it all too well. Yeah, so what I learned from that situation is that when you get the L, just play it cool, back away, go about your merry business, and then process it at home. Preferably by yourself, at least that's how I feel about it. And then you handle that L, and you process it by being like, well, ow, my feels. That took a lot of courage, and it did not work out how I wanted it, and my pride is involved, and ouchie ouch. And just be honest, let yourself feel rejected. It hurts. It's never great. I'll tell you that. But I think the key to recovering from rejection is to honor the rejection and how much of a bruise on your pride it usually gives. Listen, I am not going to sit here and say that it didn't bruise my pride. No, it did. It sure did. So make sure that you let yourself feel a little sad about it. And then you're like, dang, that took so much courage to do. And it really hurt my feelings that it didn't work out. And then you move on. But I think the key to handling it is to get into a place where you feel safe and okay to feel mopey about it. So rejection is just about how you handle it. That's really what it is. And also when you're shooting your shot, don't get your hopes up super high. Basically, you're asking like, hey, are you feeling it? And if the answer is no, that's not a reflection of you as a person. That doesn't mean that you don't deserve someone who is feeling it. That doesn't mean that no one else is gonna feel it. That doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be felt. It means that this person isn't your person. And they were upfront about that. And honestly, it's better to take the L up front than to waste your time. Dealing with heartbreak after someone's done you dirty? Well, my solution was therapy. I mean, I recommend therapy to everyone. Anyone with a, life, anyone with a heart, anyone living on this planet probably needs to talk to somebody at least a little bit. Personally, I think you should just go. I went into therapy initially because I got done dirty. But turns out it made my life so much better. How do you find your version of justice? I'm going to be honest with you, mostly thanks to the therapy. I don't care about anyone who has done me dirty enough to like want justice. Or I think the more accurate word here is revenge. Yeah, I don't care about them enough. Any of them. Anyone. I don't care about anyone who's done me dirty enough to like want justice or revenge or whatever. I don't care. I don't care. So I guess that is my version of justice. I'm apathetic to their lives now. Yeah, I actually can't think of a better revenge or justice. Apara said that they don't have any like things that they would ask about the 20s, but they said, start your 401k now. And I agree. Start your 401k now. Do it. Do it. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. Just any amount of money. Start it now. Start it now. Jasmine Nixon says, figuring yourself out when you're broke. How are we supposed to try new things when everything costs so much money? Public events, public transportation. Honestly, I love going to free events, street festivals in particular. I think they're so fun and they're so colorful and there's just so much joy in the air. Like the jazz festival was this summer, and there's always an arts festival, thank goodness. Also, it's a really nice place to find like-minded individuals. You can usually find really cool people at like festivals, because like people who are invested enough in something to go, that's pretty cool. I also think that like community centers are really cool. You can take a class. Oh, meetup groups like the app Meetup, not sponsored, is really good. Ooh, if you're in Atlanta, skating is huge now, especially off the Beltline. There are the meetup groups there. Ooh, there's yoga in the park. There's Shakespeare in the park. There's movie nights, like the big screens. There's a ton of free events, at least where I live. So just like literally look on Meetup and Eventbrite and I guess Facebook. I don't go on there. You just find free events, and then all you have to do is cover the fare to get there, or get a friend to drive you. Build a community when people are constantly leaving and entering your life. Online groups. I actually have quite a few friends who have international friends. WhatsApp is free. You can video chat them. A lot of my friends, like my close-knit homies, have moved away. Like they're just not near me now and haven't been for like years for some of them, and months for others, weeks for some. People do be moving. They do. But yeah, I find that the older you get, the more of a concerted and consistent effort you have to put into maintaining friendships, especially long distance friendships. So yeah, I don't want to say it gets harder to maintain friendships, but it does take more effort. I don't know if that's harder. I just think it's more effort. You got to spin these things. You got to look at it differently. You got to trick it. You got to trick it. And if they return the energy, that's a person that needs to be in your life. If they don't, it was a friend for a season. And treasure the memories you had. How to make a routine that's good for you and aligns with your values and goals. Trial and error. Literally trial and error. There's no shortcut. So for me, my routine is chaos, and that's what works for me. I get bored really easily, really fast. I need constant like life stimuli. I always need an event. I need to see friends. I need to go out. I need to go to a new place. I need new memories. No. More. That's the way my brain is literally set up. But there are certain staples that I have in my like weekly and definitely my monthly routine. Like for example, I know that every week I have to deep clean my living place. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to deep clean. I'm gonna have to edit. I'm gonna have to shoot. I'm going to have to do revisions. I'm going to have to upload. I'm going to have to do the metadata. I'm going to have to, there are certain pieces of my week and they just fall when they fall. And I rearrange them like a puzzle every week. And that is my routine. Organized chaos. Here are the pieces. How will the chips fall land this time? Fall land. You like that? Now, the way I found this out was trying to be way too rigorous with my week. And like, on Mondays we do this. On Tuesdays we do this. But that does not work for me. I get bored and overwhelmed and I get backed up because I don't do enough on Tuesday or something and then it spills over to Wednesday and I'm like, okay, so what I need to do is get these things done in whatever chaotic freaking order they're gonna get done. And if they're done, then I win the week. But that took a lot of trial and error to find what those pieces were and to see if I can actually get them done, and making realistic goals for myself on a weekly basis and having overarching monthly stretch goals. It was a whole thing. And I think, especially if you're in a creative field, you're just gonna have to trial and error it. I'm sorry, it's the truth. I'd rather tell you an inconvenient truth than lie to you. Natasha or Natasha, who makes music. Could you make a video about how to be patient and not feeling left behind, also trusting in the process in your 20s? I've been struggling with that ever since I got into my 20s, and everything feels like a race, and I have to act as if I'm in a constant race. Love your videos so much. Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah. Life, I don't know what it is, but the moment you're an adult, stuff just feels mad rushed. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, okay, we graduated. Now it's time to find the career job of my life, and then I have to get a car, then I have to get a husband or a wife, or a someone or a partner, or I just need to figure out everything in my life, and then I have to marry them, and I have to get all the kids, and they must be the most perfect kids, and then we'll get a perfect house, and then we'll have the white picket fence, and then we'll die! It is a familiar sentiment. It's really hard to believe this, especially when you're in those first couple of 20s. But life really goes on its own pace according to you. It is your life, and it can go as slow or as fast or as in as many directions, and it can go backwards sometimes. Did you know it could go backwards sometimes? No one told me. It can do anything. You're not locked into a single narrative, but I can't make you feel like that. You have to do the work to convince yourself that your life is your own and it is unique and just how it's supposed to be. You can do it. I have faith in you. How to do this? Glad you asked. So for me, what that looked like was therapy. And everybody should go for therapy. I'm gonna put some links in the description box. And positive affirmations, and surrounding myself with people who are like-minded. And for me, that's a lot of young entrepreneurial women. And that made me feel a lot better about my life. Because I was like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one doing this. Gotcha. And then when you have, like, at the very least, acquaintances and coworkers, or even just someone to occasionally check in with about, like, you feel like you're not just being this weird on the outskirts of society person. You have not only do you have similar interests and similar spirits, you also have similar issues and similar challenges. For example, I don't have coworkers. I'm the only human in this room. That is a very interesting problem. On one hand, I love it. But on the other hand, self-motivation Monday, anybody? Is it Monday? Also, I don't know what day it is a lot. And that's like really helpful. Now, it's also really important to not put yourself in an echo chamber. Make sure you got some diversity in your friend group. Makes you a better person, makes you more empathetic, smarter, and more compassionate. At least that's what I think. That helps with the pacing. You inspire each other. You can bounce ideas off of each other. Personally, I like to go out a lot and just enjoy life and realize that I'm having a good time. And that means that I'm doing the right thing. I'm going on my own path. I'm going at my own pace. As Courtney Miller from Smosh said, ugh, ugh, ugh. I'm so sore from forging my own path. Ew! Point being, I think what makes you stop freaking out about the pacing of your life is gaining confidence in where you are and who you are. And that takes time, and it also takes reflection. It also takes self-love. It takes a lot of patience. Like a lot of patience and support. It takes a lot of work, is what I'm saying. Contentment, happiness, take a lot of work. A lot. But it's always worth it. Avery Mation asks, or says, feeling left behind compared to your peers. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do not compare yourself to others. There is literally nothing to be gained. All you do is cheapen who you are and reduce who they are. And compare apples and oranges. That'll make no sense, and you're doing yourself and them a disservice. Stop that immediately. I had to get out of that spiral a couple of times. There's nothing to be gained by comparing the infinite person that you are and the infinite person that they are. You're two completely different humans. Don't do it. Feeling like you're wasting your 20s. Honestly, I feel like that's a normal sensation, and I think that's really sad that it's normal. I felt like I was wasting my 20s. I think we were lied to about what your 20s is about. But then when I started talking to my friends who are in their 40s, and that hindsight is just so good. Oh, it's so good. They're like, what? Okay, what were you expecting? And I was like, this, and that. And yacht this, and house that. And they're like, ha, ha, ha. No, your 20s is about grinding. Your 20s is about figuring out who you are, which is a really messy and painful process sometimes, but also extremely liberating and joyous at others. Your 20s is about figuring yourself out. We think that's your teenage dumb, but I mean, I feel like the training wheels come off in your 20s, and now, okay, all right, honey, it's really time to get serious. I feel like your 20s is just like a messier version of puberty. It's like the latent, like delayed reaction puberty. Like first puberty is your body, but then second puberty is your 20s, and it's like mentally and emotionally puberty. You're just like, what is happening? And everyone else is like, I know what's happening. I bet you're not wasting them. I bet you ain't wasting them. Because you're cognizant enough to care, to even notice that your 20s are moving. You're self-aware enough to value your 20s. And I feel like that means you're not wasting them. No, that's my hot take. They say that your 20s are the best and happiest times of your life when it feels anything but. Who said that? Who? Was that before or after the first or second recession? I'm just saying. Yeah, I've had some of the highest highs in my 20s, and I've had some of the I've definitely had the lowest lows in my 20s, for sure. I've had some really bright moments in my 20s, though, too. I don't know. I feel like anyone who's telling you a particular decade or time frame in your life is guaranteed to be the Buddhist or Buddhist is probably just talking about their own life. It's giving projection. They're talking about their life. And I am talking about my life. I don't think I could say there's a particular time where you're guaranteed to feel anything. Everybody's different. Everyone's in different circumstances. Everyone's in a different space. Everyone has different stuff going in their lives at different times. Like, how can you predict emotion within someone else's life? Like, if they're an X-man, okay. But if they're not, maybe they're just talking about their own life. I remember some people were saying high school will be the best point of your life. And I was like, okay. Teddy says, the period of isolation, haha, I talked about this earlier, and not knowing what's really next to come. The am I doing this right feeling that never goes away. I think I touched on this earlier, but it's not that feeling ever goes away. It's that feeling changes. Am I doing this right? You're never gonna know. And personally, for me, I've come to really internalize, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm doing the best I can with the information at my disposal in this very moment. And I am comfortable with that. I know it's not as catchy, but I might throw it on a shirt anyway. Yeah, but I don't really think to myself anymore, am I doing this right? Sometimes I'll think, is this the right decision? Or am I making a mistake right now? Or should I risk it? Or is it worth it? Is this worth my time? Is there a better option? Like, these are the questions that come to me now. But am I doing this right was a very prominent question I used to have. And it just kind of melted away into more specific questions with more closed answers. Like, am I doing this right? You're never gonna really know until you have hindsight. And even then, you could be wrong and you did do it right. But you did it right, so you'll never see what the wrong answer led to. It's Goosebumps logic. Maybe try to not ask yourself that, or when you catch yourself asking yourself that, maybe redirect that into, what's the best decision I can make with the information I have right now? And then do your best at the time, because that is literally all you can ever do. You'll be okay. You can do it, Teddy. Robin Henderson says, leaving behind toxic friends, changed relationships with family as an adult, the beginning of your career path, the career one especially. Not just the fact that many people don't do what they major in, but the fact that finding jobs as a new professional can be interesting. Leaving behind toxic friends, we kind of touched on that a little bit. People are in your life for a reason, a season, and a thing and a thing. I forgot the rest of the rhyme. Honestly, cut out the poison from your life. Like, why not? If you're not benefiting from a relationship, then why is it in your life? I know it can be difficult, but once I cut off one toxic friend, I got real scissor happy. So liberating. So just cut off the most toxic friend you have and see how much your life improves. And then you'll get scissor happy too. This is a great feeling. Changed relationships with family as an adult. I can't really speak on this too much. My relationships with my family have changed, but I would say they have changed for the better. I have changed a lot for the better. So my relationships changed for the better because I was being a better me. So that's what I've got on that. Beginning your career path. Okay, I also don't know how helpful I'm going to be here, because I also felt very underqualified for basically every job I was looking at. So then I became a YouTuber. So I just invented a career path for myself, forging my own path. What would you do for free? What's a job? What is a task or a set of skills or something that you would do pro bono? And then you work on that craft or that skill, and you just keep working very hard on it until it's lucrative. That's what I did. I do know from my friends who are in corporate America and in 9-to-5s and more traditional jobs that networking is everything. So go to networking events, hang out in the financial district and happy hour, go to open houses. Volunteer if they have a volunteership. LinkedIn, cold calls, following up by email. If you have one person attached to the company, exploit it. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That I do know. Joanna asks or says, The pressure to know exactly what you want to do in life. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm 26. Ooh, I get it. I think you can only literally answer that with experience. And again, everybody's life, am I going to deep condition my hair, you guys? Am I going to do it? I think you can literally only answer that with experience. That's it. And also, dreams change. Did you know that? I didn't. I thought that you had to have the same dream your whole life and like dedicate your whole life to that same dream. Did you know that you can change your dream? And did you know that your dreams change sometimes without telling you? This is the stuff I just straight up didn't know. I think you literally have to just live. I think that's what it is. Again, I only have but so much hindsight, and from what I've observed and what I've been told and what feels right for me, I think you literally just have to live and you figure it out as you go. That's something that you have to learn. And I don't think you necessarily have to know now. I think you should explore. Do a little something that pays the bills and explore in your free time. That's what I did. I had an 8 to 5, and I would just come home and make videos and do a voiceover or write scripts or edit. And, on the weekends I would edit or just the hustle. The hustle never stops. So to you, I think you should explore, because it's okay to not know what you want. It's maybe not as okay to just not try to figure that out. I mean, it's your happiness. It's your life. You can do what you want. But if I was you, I'd just explore. And here we go. Last one. Apartment 14E. Patience where there is failure would be good to touch on. I agree. Even though the 20s are hard and chock full of wins and losses, mostly losses, being patient with oneself makes a difference. With patience, you can be a little more relaxed and self-soothing instead of self-deprecating. While in the midst of personal failure, it's harder to get back up when you're beating yourself up. I think that was beautifully put, 14E. I would agree completely. 20s seem to be chock full of L's. Yeah, I feel like being patient with yourself, not putting pressure on yourself, being kind to you, learning to be courageous even though you might fail, because failure is most of what success is made of. If you looked at the nutrition facts of success, I think it would be 90% failure, 5% tears, 5% luck and persistence. I think that is a beautiful note to leave this off on. And look, I'm deep conditioning my hair. It happened. Thank you so much for tuning back into 20s Talk. It means so much to me to just be able to sit down and talk to you guys. In fact, here are some people I talk to even more. Thank you so much to my beautiful patrons. If you'd like to be in this lovely crawl, I suggest that you check out here, or go to the description box and check out my Patreon and join the Starry Spaniels tier. I upload content like this on Tuesdays, and maybe I'll add another day, you guys. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me so much to fight the algorithm dragon. And I'll see you guys next time. This has been me, Danielle, your resident weirdo. StarPuppy signing out. Say it with me now. StarPuppy. Away! You can do it. Good luck.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed the video.